It's time for your Low Country real estate market update. It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Brian is one of the top 1% real estate agents in Charleston. Find him online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. Now, broadcasting from the WTMA studios, here's your host, Brian Beatty.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I'm, of course, your host, Brian Beatty. Thanks again for tuning in. 6 years, a little over 6 years I'm doing this show, giving you my expert reviews and news of the market. As some of you know, I've been in the top 1% of agents in our market every year for the past decade, and so I like to relay my experiences in the market on a daily basis to you so that I can help you become a more informed consumer. I like to take regional news, national news, apply that to us here on a local level, and give you guys a better understanding of what's happening in our market. I also really believe in educating you on the process. And so this show is going to be designed to debunk a lot of myths out there. There's a lot of misinformation in this market right now. I'm going to spend the majority of the show talking about how this misinformation can harm you. You know, anything that you read online, any advice that you take into account has an effect on how much your home sells for, how quickly it sells for, how much money you make or don't make, and the experience that you have. And so I'm really going to dive deep into some of the differences in our market right now, what some of this information looks like, and how it, in my opinion, is leading you down the wrong path. I'm really big on preparing for this process and helping you become an informed consumer. So let me just say very quickly that if you'd like to reach out to me and talk about your specific situation, if you're considering buying, selling, or investing in real estate, we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. My number is 843-345-1273. Again, that's 843-345-1273. Or you can visit my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. And you can learn more about myself and my team and who we are and what we do to sell our homes. You can search the MLS, read reviews, listen to every show we've ever recorded on this station, which can also be found on our radio show website, charlestonrealestateradio.com, or you can check us out through iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, any other streaming device. Just check out the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. So I want to talk about the cost of misinformation, and I want to hit this in a few different ways. Number one, and I think one of the big mistakes that people are making right now is that thinking your market or the market that you are in, your very specific sub-market, is the same as the market, the overall market for Charleston. And so for the most part, the homes that are selling right now are the ones that have more features and are in better condition for the same general price as other available properties, or the home that's slightly underpriced. The home that's priced slightly under the competition. You know, here's one of the major challenges in our market right now, if you're a seller. And frankly, this can be seen as a challenge or can be seen as an opportunity. You know, you see these other homes available for sale in your area, and you know, that's your perception of fair market value. You know, what other people are asking for their home. And what homeowners very, very rarely take into consideration, mostly because they don't have access to the data, is what homes are actually selling for in their area. I mean, you can check a few sites and find out what the sales price was, but what if the majority of the homes in your neighborhood are offering concessions to the buyer, meaning the seller, more often than not, is paying the buyer's closing costs, as an example, which account for about 3% off of the asking price. So what's one of the major challenges in our market right now? It's setting the right asking price. And what we've seen in our market for years and years and years now, as we've shifted more toward a seller's market, is this game of, and I've mentioned this on the show multiple times, but this game of leapfrog pricing, where, you know, John and Sally down the street list their home for $425,000. You think your home is nicer, so you list yours for $435,000. Another neighbor down the street thinks that their home is nicer, so they list for $450,000, and you kind of get what I'm alluding to here. People tend to base their asking price on other people's asking prices under the assumption that the market is continuing to go up. And what I'm here to tell you is that in many areas of Charleston, the market has flatlined. And what I mean by that is this rate of appreciation, this increase in the overall sales price that we've seen for several years has either stopped or has slowed down significantly, which is what's causing a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty in our market right now. Buyers really like to be in a market where they know which direction they're heading. Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Are prices going up or are they going down? It at least gives them an idea of what to expect. But see, when the market flatlines and there's no real upward or downward pressure on pricing due to a lack of supply or an overage of supply, is it causes people to sit on the fence. No buyer out there really wants to buy a house and then find out next month that prices are going to go down. In reality, real estate is a lagging indicator. It's incredibly challenging to quote unquote time the market because data is old. And what I mean by that is when a listing agent, as an example, prices a property for sale, we're going to look at everything that has sold over the past 6 months. And so we're going to say, all right, so if these are the homes that have sold over the past 6 months that I believe are most relevant to your property, what we also need to understand is that if something sold 6 months ago, it was under contract for probably a month and a half before that. And when that property hit the market, that property was priced based on comparable sales that were 6 months prior to that. So we have this year almost of a lag in real-time data, which is why when you're trying to price your home, you really need to work with a real estate agent that understands the trend in your market. And so the challenge is the perception of having to kind of give your home away in order to sell it. And let me just say that you're not giving it away. You're selling it for what the market is willing to pay for it because the other homes you're competing with are overpriced. The opportunity is to be the one to sell your home by hiring an agent with the competence and the experience necessary to do a really deep analysis into fair market value, which very simply just refers to how much a home is valued for when both the buyer and the seller are reasonably knowledgeable about the property and neither is under any sort of pressure to buy or sell. And so you may have a general idea of how much your home could be worth based on homes with similar square footage and features that have hit the market near you. But the challenge is that no two comparable homes are the same. So we need to account for those differences in the features and the condition of the upgrades by doing something called making adjustments. And it's incredibly hard to do that manually if you don't know how much the market assigns to different features and upgrades. Like as an example, if you have a screen porch and another home doesn't, that's an additional value. If your home is on deep water and the homes that you're comparing it to are on a tidal creek with mud at low tide at the edge of their floater, then that's obviously an additional value. And so when a really experienced agent is making adjustments to the comparable properties they're using to determine the fair market value for your home, the accuracy of that price is going to be a function of how experienced that agent is in doing this time over time, and in the fact that are they actually selling the homes that they're listing, or are they professional listing takers? And so, again, the homes that are selling are the ones that are priced correctly right now. And I want to give you an idea of how different some of our markets can be right now. And so I have this pulled up. And if I look just at Charleston County and I look at all price ranges, I want to give you some stats. And I just want to show you how different this can be. So if I'm talking about just Charleston County, all price ranges for single family homes that were previously owned. I'm not including new construction in this because it really starts to kind of mess up the stats. If you look at the number of homes available for sale in Charleston County, it's up about 12% from this time last year. If you look at the closings, they were down 1.4% from this time last year. If you look at the month's supply of inventory, which is the number that we assign to the market, in that if no other home hit the market, here's how long it would take for us to be sold out of listings. It's almost 5 months now. That's gone up 15%. And if you look at the number of showings per listing, showings are down 11%. And if you look at how many showings it takes on average to put your home under contract, it's 19 showings. So, on the surface, it appears as though Charleston County is shifting slightly, but let's compare that to, say, Mount Pleasant in the $750,000 to $1 million range. If you look at the total number of homes available for sale, inventory has increased 63% from this time last year. Closings are down 22%, which means the month supply of inventory is up 93%. We have literally almost doubled our month supply of inventory. It was down at a little over 4 months in January of last year, and now we're at 13 months. We have literally gone from a seller's market to a buyer market in over a year, in the course of about a year and a half. And we have a lot of clients in this price range, and they're wondering why their home isn't selling, and it's because a lot of the agents are using the same tactics they were using when the market was really hot, and it was really easy to just stick a sign in the ground and put it on the MLS and then get flooded with showings and potential offers. But when we look at the showings, showings are actually up a little bit, but the number of showings it takes now to put a home under contract is up 43% from this time last year. So there are huge differences in different segments of this market, which is why, although I read stats from a generalized standpoint on this show, it's really important for you to understand that market conditions are hyper-local. It depends on your neighborhood. Sometimes it depends on your street. It depends on your price range, your location, your upgrades, your features. All of those things need to be taken into account. And if you're basing your experience in selling a home on the assumption that, hey, the market is hot, the market, broad terms, is hot, well, yes, generally I would agree with that to an extent. There are certain areas, certainly the first-time homebuyer price range is still hot. We're still putting homes on the market and they're selling in a matter of days. We're still seeing a lot of multiple offers on our listings. But the higher in price you go, the more challenging that market becomes. Mount Pleasant, $750,000 to $1 million, like I just mentioned, has become very saturated very quickly. And that landscape looks a lot different than it did this time last year. So if you're thinking about selling your house, I've got a lot more information in the show that I want to relay to you guys, but I think the first step is finding out how much your home is worth right now. Do I anticipate that going up, staying the same, or going down? If you'd like that information, I invite you to give me a call. My number is 843-345-1273. Again, that cell number is 843-345-1273. Or you can go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. You can actually submit your information right there on our site, and then it will spit out an automated valuation. Of course, it's not going to be as accurate as if I were to take a look at it and do what we just discussed, which is compare your home to other properties and make individual adjustments. That's the best way to determine the fair market value for your home. But if you at least want to get an idea, it's going to be more accurate than Zillow, I can tell you that. So listingsincharleston.com. Stick around, guys. I've got a lot more information for you. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Stay tuned for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.